Okay, so we are on lesson 2.2 and 2.3, dividing fractions. So the first thing you want to do is pause the video and write down the steps. So we're going to make improper first if needed. So if it's a mixed number, make it improper. Then we're going to do something called keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep the first fraction the same, change, divide to multiply, and flip the second fraction over. This flip is also called a reciprocal. But we're going to keep, change, flip. Then we're going to do exactly what we learned earlier this week. We're going to cross reduce, multiply, and then reduce or simplify at the end. So take a minute, write these down, and then we'll be ready to jump in with the first one. So here we go. All right, so I don't need to make them improper because they're not mixed numbers. So I'm ready to keep, change, divide to multiply, and find the reciprocal or flip the second guy. Now we are ready to cross reduce. So I can't do anything with 2 and 3. There's nothing I can divide both of them by, but I can divide 5 and 10 by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. All right. Now I'm ready to multiply the top and bottom. So 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. Now the top's bigger than the bottom. That's improper. So we have to see how many times 3 can go into 4? Can go in 1 time with 1 left over. So 1 and 1/3. All right, let's try the next one. So I can skip step 1 because there's nothing that's, there are no mixed numbers. So I'm ready to keep, change, flip. All right, so I kept the first fraction the same, change, divide, and multiply, and then I flipped or found the reciprocal of the second guy. So just flipped him over. The reciprocal just means flip it over. Numerator becomes denominator, denominator becomes numerator. All right, now I'm ready to cross reduce. So there's nothing I can do when there's a 1, but I can divide both of these by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now I'm ready. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. But the top's bigger than the bottom, so I say 2 can go into 3 1 time with 1 left over. And remember, if you have trouble getting from here to here, you can always go like this. And this is your big number, your numerator, your denominator. We've learned that for weeks now. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so number 3. So I don't need to make anything improper because I don't have any mixed numbers. So I'm going to keep, change, flip. Now I'm ready to cross reduce. So there's nothing that goes into 7 and 3, right? But is there a number that goes into 8 and 10? Yeah, they're both even, so I could divide them by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So now I'm ready. Oh, my video. Hang in there. I just went a little sideways for a second. Let me fix it back. Okay, hopefully that'll work. All right, so now I'm ready to go across the top. 7 times 4 is 28. 5 times 3 is 15. Top is bigger than the bottom, so 15 goes into 28. 1 time with 13 left over, so 1 and 13 fifteenths. All right, let's go to the next one. Now, in this one, the first step is to make them improper, so I do need to do that. Now, be careful. One of the biggest mistakes is people try to make it improper and flip all at the same time. Just go through and make it improper, then do keep, change, flip. So here we go. 1 times 7 is 7, plus 3 is 10, so I have 10 over 7. I'm still going to keep it divided by, and then I don't need to do anything with 2/3 because it's not a mixed number. Now I'm ready to keep, change, flip, right? And now I'm going to do some cross reducing. I can't do anything with 3 and 7, but 10 and 2, I could divide them both by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 1 is 7, but the top is bigger than the bottom, so how many 7s can I get out of 15? I can get 2 7s, which is 14, so it leaves 1 left over, so 2 and 1 7. All right, let's try a couple more. All right, so remember, don't do keep, change, flip until you make everything improper first. So 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4 is 34 over 5. Divided by 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17 over 8. Now I keep, change, flip. So keep, change, Now, this one's kind of hard because you'll go, well, there's nothing that goes into 5 and 8, right? Because 5 is prime. But you might look and go, nothing goes into these two because 17 is prime. But remember, 17 goes into 17, right? And actually, 17 can go into 34 as well. So 17 goes into 17 once, it goes into 34 twice. All right, so 2 times 8 is 16. 1 times 5 is 5, but it's improper. 5 goes into 16 3 times, which is 15. So I have 1 left over. All right, and if I go a little fast, you might pause it, rework it, rewatch it again. All right, so we have some on your own, so go ahead, work through these, and then we'll look at them together. Okay, so here we go. Let's work. Let's see how you did. Hopefully you unpaused it and you're ready to go. So first I'm going to keep, change, flip. I'm going to cross reduce, divide both of those by 4. So this becomes a 1, this becomes a 2. So I get 7 over 6, which is 1 and 1, 6. Hopefully you got that one right. All right, second one, I'm going to make it improper. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 4 is 19. So 19 over 5 divided by 2/5. Now I'm ready to keep, change, flip. And if you remember from multiplying, I said, hey, even if you hate cross reducing, you can always look at the diagonals. If they're the same number, cross them out, make them 1s, right? Because you can divide them both by 5s. Nothing I can do with 19 and 2, so I just go across the top. So it'll be 19 over 2, which is going to be 9 and a half. All right, let's go to number 3. All right, so I have 7/8 divided by, we'll make this improper, 3 times 16 is 48, plus 1 is 49. Now I'm ready to keep, change, flip. Now this one looks hard, it's actually pretty easy. I can divide a 7 out of both of these, so 7 divided by 7 is 1, 49 divided by 7 is 7. I can divide both of these by 8, right? So 8 divided by 8 is 1. 16 divided by 8 is 2. Now, 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 7 is 7. So there you go. All right, and this last one, if you remember, it's PEMDAS, right? So we look and we go, well, I have divide and subtract. What comes first? Divide. And I'm going to actually have to, hopefully you have this down. I'm going to erase so I have some room through here. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and make this improper. So 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So 3 over 2 divided by 1/6 minus 7/8. So I know divide comes before subtract. So I'm going to do keep, change, switch, or flip rather. Keep, change, flip. Switch is when we do integers. All right, I can't do anything with 1 and 3, but I can with 2 and 6. So I'm going to divide both by 2. So he becomes a 1, he becomes a 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And 1 times 1 is 1. Now I have 9 over 1 minus 7/8. Now you can look at it as 9 minus 7/8 and probably figure that out mentally. But I'll go ahead and do it getting a common denominator, because we know we have to have a common denominator when we add and subtract. So if I skip kind of 1 and 8 off to the side, I get 8. All right, so to get 1 and... Okay, so hopefully you did that on your own and you are ready to check your answers. So let's go ahead with the first one. We would keep, change, flip, so we do 7/8 times 4/3. I can't do anything there, but I can divide both of these by 4, so it'll be a 1 and a 2. So you should have gotten 7 over 6, which is 1 and 1/6. All right, let's look at the second one. We want to make this improper. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 4 is 19. So I have 19 over 5 divided by 2/5. Now I'm ready to keep, change, flip. Remember, when you have the same number, you can cross them out and make them 1s. There's nothing I can do with 19 and 2, so I don't do anything but go across the top and bottom. 19 over 2 is improper, so we should have gotten 9 and a half for that one. All right, so number 3, we do 7/8 divided by, I need to make this improper, so it'll be 48 plus 1 is 49 over 16. Now I'm ready to keep, change, flip, so make sure you didn't try to do that all in one step. I could divide both of these by 7, so 7 divided by 7 is 1, 49 divided by 7 is 7. Divide both of these by 8, 8 divided by 8 is 1, 16 divided by 8 is 2. So you should have gotten 2 sevens. Alright, and the last one at the bottom is PEMDAS problem. So I'm going to erase so I have some room to work it. Okay, so here we go. First thing I'm going to do is make it improper. So 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So it's 3 over 2 divided by 1/6 minus 7/8. Now, we know division comes before subtraction in PEMDAS. I'm going to do this first. So I'm going to keep, change, flip. Alright? Then I can cross reduce here, divide them both by 2. So this guy becomes a 1, this guy becomes a 3. 3 times 3 is 9, 1 times 1 is 1. Then I still have the minus 7/8. You can do 9 minus 7/8. You can probably do that in your head and know what that is, but I'll do it mathematically just to make sure. We get a common denominator, so let's skip count 1 and 8, because we know when we're subtracting common denominators, it would be 8. So we do times 8 to get the equivalent fraction there. And then 72 minus 7 is 65 over 8. And then 8 goes into 65 8 times, which is 64, so we have a 1 left over, so 8 and 1/8. All right, that's it for dividing fractions. Thanks.